special class in which we are dealing about the history chapter, that is rise of nationalism in Europe. In that we are seeing in content that is 3.1, the romantic images and the national feeling. So if we see about the romantic ages and nationalist feeling, which we saw in the previous class, also says about the importance of romantic feelings, romantic aspect that has been created, and we saw about a German philosopher that is who wanted to create a cultural unification among the people. So today we will see about the continuation of this, that is I stopped in a place like they were using vernacular languages, right? That is the local languages which have been used by those peoples, and these local languages have been facilitating them to unite these kind of peoples for the struggle of or formation of the nation state. So how that is? If you see here, through this local languages, they were trying to bring back or they were trying to recover the ancient nationalistic spirit that was being prevailing among them. The ancient nationalistic feeling that was prevailing among them was being boosted up, was being brought out by the vernacular languages. Okay, that is one thing which you can see. And next thing you can see is that the modern nationalist messages were also largely spreading because the common language was used, right? So what they have been doing is they started spreading this in a wider area and in larger area using the modernized aspects. Okay, so the ancient thing was being converted to a modern aspect and it was being spreaded through all the nations. That is one thing. Then you can see that it also facilitated the illiterate section. Illiterate means those who do not have proper education. Those who are not able to read and write a passage, those people are called as illiterates, right? So for them and all, this was an oral culture which was developed. So this oral culture helped them in developing their own feeling of nationalism. Okay, and here you can see especially they are saying about a case in Poland, that is in 18th century this partition was ended in Poland, and thereby you can find that the great power has emerged, that is Russia, Prussia and Austria started emerging. Okay, even though Poland was no longer existing as an independent nation, it was having a nationalistic feeling in it. Okay, so this nationalistic feeling was kept alive. Alive means was surviving only because of the local languages that was being used in Poland. Okay, example they were saying that it is Karkoler ring as an example which celebrates their own national struggle. Okay, in that they are celebrating their own national struggle using music and turning it into an folk lores, and which was liked by the common peoples. Okay, so this played an important role. Then language too played another important role in developing the nationalistic sentiments, as I told you. So it was a Polish language which was being used, right? Yes or no? So Polish was being forced as a language in all the areas, not only in one particular area. When Russia becoming a dominating power, when it occupied all the places, it started forcing all to follow, it forced out the Polish language and it wanted Russian language to be followed. In schools, colleges, everywhere you can find the Polish language was being used as an official language. Okay, so when this was made as an official language, there are people who were being utilizing their own traditional language, that is the Polish language continuously, like church popes and the teachers, officials and the people who gather in the priests, that is gathering in the churches and in the religious instructions, they started using this Polish language. But the Russians did not want this to prevail. So what they did is that they sent all of these people who were been utilizing Polish language out of their area. They were being sent to exile. Exile means out of the country, that is Nadukarta. So that is what happened, and this they were being sent to Serbia by the Russians. Okay, and you can see this authority of punishment was being developed. So the authorities started punishing the people who were being reluctant in using the Russian language and utilizing the Polish language. So the Polish came to be seen as a symbol of struggle against the Russian. So the people who were being really prominent and happy with the Polish language started fighting against the Russian languages, similar to the Sri Lankan issue we saw in civics chapter, right? So correlate that. So that is what is about the romantic images and feeling of nationalism. Okay, nationalistic feeling that has been content, that is the language, how it played a very important role in the struggle for the nationalism, right? So now we are going to a new content, that is the 3.2 module, hunger, hardship and popular struggle. So what is this hunger? Hunger means the people who are not getting sufficient food, right? So they come under hunger, right? So the beggars, you can find, they are starving for food. That is called as hunger. So during the 19th century, in 19th century, you can find that this kind of hunger was prevailing, and this hunger was much popular in that time. And you can also see that even in 1830s, in 1830, this hunger, hardship and popular revolution was most occupying the European countries. Why? How? That is what we are going to see. So we have seen what is hunger. So what is this hardship? Hardship, that means a ship that goes on an ocean. That's not that. During your lifetime, you will face some kind of difficulties, struggle, right? So that is called as that duration. You can call that I had few hardships in those days. That means the difficult time, we are saying it as a hardship. So European countries also had some time which was really difficult for them to struggle and fight and come to a nation state. Okay? So that is why it is called as a hardship. And the popular revolution. So in this 18th century to the 19th century, you can find lot and number of popular revolutions and revolt were being started. Like revolt of 1857, here you can find that there was lot of other revolt which broke out in the European countries for forming nation states. So this is what we are going to see today. And if you have your book, just take your book, and you can see in 1830s, this European countries were being facing economical crisis. What is this economical crisis? That is financial problems. They had lot of financial problem at that time, and the first half of 19th century, there was enormous increase in the population was there. So when population is increasing, the production of food grain also should increase, right? Only then we can provide proper food for them. Yes or no? So if we are not able to fulfill the demand of the production of food grains, then it is not possible for us to provide them with proper food. That is what happened. So the agricultural production was not that much of the population. So most of the peoples were facing the hunger. Okay, and you can see that during the 19th century, there was a population which was continuously increasing, and there were job seekers. What is this job seekers? Job seekers, the people who are searching for jobs are called as job seekers. Those days you can find lot and number of job seekers were being there who were unemployees. Okay, so there was lot of unemployment was also prevailing. That was also an hardship over here. Then you can see that the one important thing is there was industrial revolution that was developed in 19th century. So when the industrial revolution was developed, cheap machines were being produced, right? Yes or no? Cheap machines means like machines for everything were being produced, which can be easily brought at around the cost of 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000. The ranges will be very cheaper comparing to the human employment. Okay, so what this did is that the cheap machines replaced the jobs of the humans. So there was lot of unemployment which was also prevailing, because of which you can find there was some hardship that was there in the European countries. So this is another thing. Then you can see that there was lot of shift in the competition that was happening. Shift in the competition means people from urban area started moving to rural area to urban area they started moving. So we can find lot of competition also developed in those nations. And especially in the textile production, what happened is that there was this was carried out everywhere, the cotton textile production, right? Even in the small areas, even in the homes, they started carrying out these kind of cotton textile production. Okay, and they started having workshops, and were also having partly machines which was also doing these kind of works. And these regions which were being here still enjoyed the privileges of the aristocrats, monarchies, or the feudal dues were being imposed on them. So the higher section was continuously enjoying the privilege, but the lower section, even though hardship was there, even though hunger was there, you can find that the richer were being enjoying their privileges, enjoying their own financial condition. They did not think about the people who have been struggling, surviving, struggling, and who have been facing so much of hardships. Were not even considered, were not even bothered about it. Okay, so remaining we will see in the next class, students. So I am stopping with this here. Just go through these contents. If you have any